The charitable activities of Hizmet are showing the interconnections between people and promoting the interconnections and promoting the idea of caring for others, which I believe we need in order to continue to exist on this planet. Other aspects My name is Angela Sumegi. I am an associate professor of religion at Carleton University in Ottawa, Canada. Based on the people that I know, based on the people and the activities of the Hizmet movement that I have been involved with, my opinion of the Hizmet movement is very positive. It seems to me that it is a movement dedicated to religious harmony and to respect of human rights. Certainly, other aspects that have impressed me are the energy, actually, the energy of the people involved towards the service that they do, the caring for others, the charitable activities that the Hizmet movement is involved with, education. These are all very important for our modern day world, and also just the wish to bring people together, to help to promote understanding between different people. I think that is extremely important. It seemed to me that Mr. Gülen was always looking to promote respect for all peoples and for differences, so that there was never, I did not get the impression that only one way is the right way, but I got the impression that this was a person who was very, who felt that education was also extremely important for all people to be able to come to understand each other. Someone who felt that in the divine plan, if we can call it that, there was room for difference and room for all people. Contributions to the common good by Mr. Fethullah Gulen and the Hizmet movement, I would say first, really education. That is I believe that is a very strong emphasis in Hizmet, and hopefully this is what teaches young people to think clearly and critically about the world around them. Also the emphasis on service. This is something the world needs, you know. It needs people who are actively caring not only for their own group or their own community, but who are ready and willing to provide benefit and assistance for anyone who needs it. And it seems to me, you know, that if we are not to destroy ourselves as human beings, if we are not to destroy the earth that supports us, this planet, then education is the key. Education is the light that is going to bring humanity into the future. And I think that the way in which the Hizmet movement promotes education, the way that it attempts to bring students and children of all backgrounds together, this not only promotes education, which I feel is necessary for us to continue to live as human beings successfully, but it fosters understanding. And this will be so necessary as we move into the future. Well, the educational philosophy of Mr. Gülen and the Hizmet movement, this is something which is intended to benefit the world. It is intended to, at least in my opinion, what I understand, it is intended to promote a type of society that allows, as I said, allows for difference and allows for understanding, because we are in a world now where we are very much divided by views, divided by religion, divided by identity. And education, the educational philosophy of the Hizmet movement, I think, is one which aims to foster understanding, and therefore, and not only understanding, but genuine care and for the well-being of others. You know, religion is one of the major components of identity for many people. Identity often separates us because, you know, I am this kind of person and this is my religion, and you are that kind of person and that is your religion. So identity has this capacity to divide us. And if that is the case, then religious harmony is one of the most important things that we can promote in the world today. Because where there is religious harmony, then there is a harmony of identities. And so with their interfaith activities, I think the Hizmet movement demonstrates that we have more in common. It shows what we share rather than what divides people. Because people of faith are very similar. You know, true people of faith are very similar in many ways, even if the faith is something different. So this is what I feel is so important about interfaith activities. In my opinion, you know, in every human society, in every community, group, movement, there can be those that bring shame on a community or a group. And there are those that bring honor. And although I do not know all the members of the Hizmet movement, I do not know all the activities that are carried out, but what I do know is that the people of the Hizmet movement that I have met, that I have interacted with, whose activities I have observed, those people definitely bring honor to the Hizmet movement. And to the extent that the individual members of the Hizmet movement are motivated by the desire to promote a peace-loving society that respects the differences of people, that is concerned with education and the well-being of of all people, then to that extent, I think the Hizmet movement brings honor to all of Islam. The charitable activities of Hizmet are very wide-ranging. As we know, they take place around the world and in some very difficult places where people really need charity, really need care. But also I feel that, you know, the emphasis on charitable activities by the Hizmet movement also shows, it demonstrates respect for others. It demonstrates an understanding that we're all in this world together. So when I help another person, it is not just, you know, I am helping another person. I also help myself when I help another person. So again, the charitable activities of Hizmet are showing the interconnections between people and promoting the interconnections and promoting the idea of caring for others, which I believe we need in order to continue to exist on this planet. We will have to care for each other. So I think that Hizmet is very much in the forefront and of this way of thinking. Yes, some people say that Hizmet is too good to be true. So, you know, ideals are always too good to be true. Think about heaven, a place where there is no suffering, no sorrow at all, pure joy. Sounds kind of almost too good to be true. But this, and some people will say that, you know, there is no way that we can have a perfect society. So why are you looking for that? But this should never discourage anyone from striving for, from seeking for, from working towards an ideal. Because that is the value. The striving for the ideal, the working towards it. You know, the value is not in the end. In fact, heaven is not the important thing. Loving God is the important thing. That is what is to be done. Similarly, you know, whether or not we achieve perfect society, that is not the important thing. Important thing is striving for it, working towards that. And I feel that this is kind of what the Hizmet movement does. It is striving towards a kind of perfection, towards an ideal. And I think that that is very important in human life, that we always have ideals that we can work towards, because all along the way, it is something positive.
And I think it's Fethullah Gulen's intent to see Islam without diluting anything which has given Islam its identity, its strengths, its forms of worship, but at the same time seeing it as a world religion amongst other world religions.
The Hizmet movement, to me, personifies peaceful communication among different faiths. It's very open and honest and genuine and very welcoming to all faiths.